the current real estate market in and around Salt Lake City. Now, if you watch many videos like this from people like me, from real estate agents and real estate brokers, I imagine you're used to hearing hammering of the same 1 or 2 points. Those points being that mortgage interest rates are significantly down to the tune of about half a point here very, very recently at a 11-month low. Lowest point we've seen since last September, when 30-year fixed took a pretty big and fun big dip and then right back up very, very shortly after. So affordability up with mortgage rates being way, way down. And you're probably also hearing that there are plenty of homes out there to choose from. Perhaps the more savvy videos talking about how inventory levels are in the range of historic norm for, gosh, the first time since like the late 2010s. And that locally here in Salt Lake City has been the case since about this last June, about exactly 2 months ago. So right now we're seeing affordability increased. Lower mortgage rates means your payments lower, means you can afford more. So let's say, for example, you were looking at an 80% loan to value loan, so putting 20% down on, say, for example, an $800,000 house. If the numbers didn't quite make sense, I recommend taking another look at it. They very well might. These days, or that exact same thing. Maybe you're looking at an affordable condo, 100% loan to value, zero down. Maybe the numbers didn't make sense before. Might be worth taking another look. Numbers might make sense, but to shift towards local markets, what's going on instead of the yay rates are down quite a bit from where they were recently, which I think is good cause for celebration. But what's going on out there? Typically, we're seeing locally along the Wasatch Front, you can do this by any county along the Wasatch Front, you're more or less going to see this pattern, that inventory levels are going to increase from early spring through like the fall. Think like early November. It was actually late October this last year. So we have seen that this last year in 2025. However, big however on that, the last 2 weeks, technically a decrease. The numbers have been slightly lower, but close enough that we're going to call it flat for inventory levels. So how many for sale signs are out there in yards? How many residential properties are actively available? Slightly down in the last couple of weeks, which we don't expect to see right now, right before the kids go back to school. There's no holiday that's throwing some significant wrench in there. Kind of interesting to see that. I don't think we're going to see inventory levels start to go down the rest of the year. I think we're going to see them continue to go up, roughly on historical norms, but just interesting little thing out there that we saw a little stall, we'll call it, in the annual increase in inventory levels. But there's plenty out there to choose from. It's been ranging between like 3,000 and 3,500 properties in Salt Lake County for the last couple months. I mean, right now, to be exact, it's 3,308. Active residential listings, plenty out there to choose from. Throwing demand into that supply and demand equation, like I've been saying the last kind of the recent history here, pretty normal market, slight advantage sellers. So about a 3.5 month inventory of available homes in Salt Lake County, 4.01 in Utah County, 3.15 in Davis County, where things are moving a bit faster, 4.3 overall the entire Wasatch Front Regional MLS. So just to throw some fun stats your way. But anyways, huge variance in what we're seeing across other properties. In some places, gangbusters, multiple offers. You probably heard me say that before. Other places, they sit on market. They probably sell. If you're watching this, it's very likely that you did pull your house on the MLS. I'm one of those agents that called you afterwards. So we see a lot of houses that list and do not sell as well. Huge variance. What we're seeing out there. But an interesting time. Kind of fun. Increased affordability. I could see this being perhaps the start of a very late spring market. Really should be a fun time. Anyways, anything at all that you need if you are having thoughts of making a move, maybe later this year, maybe next year, maybe even further in the future, might recommend an exploratory strategy session to see what your options are for whatever your needs might be. Anything I can do to help you, we'd love to do so. Thanks so much.